So something we've seen a lot of in the last couple of years of Hollywood is acquisitions. We've seen it in gaming too. But interestingly enough, there was news that came out a couple weeks ago, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, about a possible Disney-Fox acquisition. Where, now, for those of you who are confused, you might think, oh, Fox is buying Disney. Nobody thinks that.
No one thinks
that. Obviously people think that Disney is buying Fox. This is a rumor that's been going around for a while. And it's not the whole company, it's the film branch. So, some people are really excited about this, Marvel fans, because they think, oh man, the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, the Fant Four Stick.
Yeah, thank you.
Might go back to Marvel. And that's understandable that you would, want to see that. I personally am not excited if this happens, and the reason for that is Marvel's stance on R-rated movies.
Yes. Yeah, it goes even beyond that for me, and R-rated movies are something that I think should be in the superhero industry a lot more than they are. I mean, look at the success of them, even Deadpool, Logan, but like...
Even the BVS Ultimate. It's like the only version people like.
Right, and I enjoy them. I feel like I enjoy them more because they're grittier. There's more to them. Not necessarily Deadpool, but like Logan and BVS. There's just, I don't know. I like that because it's different.
But you like Deadpool.
I love Deadpool. You just
mean it's not gritty?
Yeah, it's not like gritty.
Yeah.
But like
it's just like crude humor.
Yes, yeah. And I don't know. I guess that's why I'm disappointed about it if it goes through, because then we're losing some of that edge. And that's something that's different and differentiates itself from the Marvel formula. And I don't know. That sucks in my opinion.
All right, so let's see. I'm gonna have to cut back in, but okay, yeah, here you go. Can you read this when we cut back in? The Disney chairman Bob Iger said that they won't be doing it in the foreseeable future, and then read this. So Marvel's stance on rated R has changed a little bit over time. Like, you had Blade, like, way back when, like, around the time of Sony's Spider-Man, Maguire, Raimi trilogy. But one of the things they said that really, like, pushed it in this direction, I feel like, or, like, let us know what they were feeling, was actually before Logan came out.
Yes, yeah. We had the Disney chairman, Bob Iger. And this is from /film.com, by the way. They reported on this, but they said that Bob Iger has made it crystal clear that the men and women of the Marvel Cinematic Universe will not be going R-rated in the foreseeable future. And so he's basically coming out addressing the fact that, listen, PG-13 we're doing just fine with that. And there's no need to push the envelope. We're going to stick with that. And he follows that up by saying, we don't have any plans to make R-rated Marvel movies.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
And this was a while ago. It's before Logan even hit theaters. Actually, it was before Logan got greenlit.
Right.
Because they were talking about, we might do a rated R Wolverine because Deadpool was successful. So, obviously, this is old news, but it's something that's worth discussing with this coming up. Because I don't know anyone who disliked Logan.
No, I really don't. It was a universally loved film. And so was Deadpool. Everyone loved Deadpool. And even though BVS was not exactly the most well-received movie, the ultimate R-rated version did better as far as ratings go. People enjoyed that more because there was more to it.
Yep.
My problem with this is that with Fox, like you told me before and like we've talked about, they give their directors more freedom with the characters. Yeah. So they're ready to just say, hey, we want you to take on this film. We want you to take these characters, do what you want with it. Grab from the source material, come up with your own spin on things, just make a good movie with these characters.
And that can be a good or bad thing.
Right.
Like, we've seen it go bad with, like, X-Men 3.
And Origins.
And recently we've seen it go amazingly with Logan and Deadpool.
Right.
And I would argue pretty well with The Wolverine.
Yes, agreed.
As well.
Agreed. So, I don't know, that's my take on it, is that but, like, even with the bad movies, we're getting something different. We're getting they're taking risks, and that's where R-rated movies come in too, because you're also taking risk with an R rating. You're taking risk on box office appeal, on where the characters are going to go in the future.
The fact you can't get kids in to see the movie,
right? And so I mean, it's a risk, but it's something that I think needs to be there for cinema.
Well, it's also competition. which is something that it seems like Hollywood is seeing less and less of.
Right.
Which, here's the whole thing with, like, our system, like capitalism, like whether it's in the entertainment industry, in utility industries, whatever, like the whole thing is supposed to be that the other guy who's competing against the guy you're giving your money to will try harder to make a better product than that guy, so you'll give him your money and you benefit. And if you have no other guy, if there's no other guy making anything, there is no competition. And that doesn't mean that Marvel will just throw in the towel and say, okay, let's make garbage. But it does mean that you're not going to see any variety, and that Marvel can set whatever stage they want to for the superhero genre, and nobody can make anything else. It just doesn't matter.
Well, right, and this is a little, I don't want to say scary, but at the same time, with them getting, say that this happens.
Well, they keep acquiring new companies.
That's what I mean. So that they become a monopoly, and that they have, basically DC's left, and DC hasn't been doing well. No. So then, just to put it bluntly, unfortunately, I want it to do well, but it hasn't.
I do too. I don't think neither of us dislike DC.
No.
In fact, I would say we like the comics better.
Agreed.
On average, at least.
Oh yeah, agreed. And that's what's kind of, I guess I would say, scary for me, is that I like having this variety where movies are coming from Fox, Warner Bros., Marvel, and you take one of those big guys out of there, I don't know, it's just going to get, and not that they aren't already starting to get repetitive. I love superheroes, I love the genre, and I've loved a lot of the films.
But yeah, they are repetitive.
And then if they're just coming from the same company over and over again,
with the same tone and the same rating.
Yes.
Make it just edgy enough to pull in the adults, just tame enough to not hit rated R.
And then hit a bunch of random jokes in there, because they like to have that humor in there.
Yeah, and that works out great sometimes.
That's their formula, though. And that's the only thing we see.
But you and I have had this argument, too, about formulas. Like, I don't think superhero movies or any movie should have a formula.
Right, and that's what Marvel has.
I think that it should be case by case, on the character. And like or dislike Fox's X-Men franchise, like that is something that they're trying to do now. Mainstream X-Men movies, usually PG-13, because it doesn't really fit them to make this entire team of mostly teenagers a rated R thing. But it does fit them to make something like, Deadpool or Logan rated R, because that's that character. They've been around a long time, they're established, you know what they are, and to make them PG-13 is to do them a disservice.
Right. Agreed.
And so, like, to me, like, let's say you have Marvel acquire Fox, right? Like, they acquire the film properties, and then they make their rated PG-13 Wolverine movie. I just think that's a disservice to that character. Like, he's a rated R character. His comics are basically R-rated, if you were to slap a rating on them. And Marvel doesn't shy away from it in their comics. That's the thing. They're willing to take risks, and not as many as they used to, because they've kind of made their comics, like, they've made their comics characters more like the movie characters to have a wider appeal, but they're willing to go adult in their comics, and they're not willing to do so in the movies. And so, like, I just feel like it's a disservice to these characters if you give them to someone who's not willing to take that character to their potential. And I understand that argument can be made with Fantastic as well. They were not taking their potential at all.
No.
Garbage movie. The first two are bad as well, in my opinion. I know people have a soft spot for them, but they're bad. It's just, I don't see this, like, lack of competition being a good thing for this industry. Kevin Feige did, however, not about face on it, but he did kind of backtrack a little bit more recently in 2017. This is an article with Collider, but he actually addressed the R rating thing with Alekine, and they ended up reporting on this on Collider, where Feige actually said, "I don't think it's out of the question," this was referring to R-rated movies, "when I started at Marvel 17 years ago, the Blade franchise was doing very well," and he's talking about the films, they were R-rated. "A lot of people didn't even know that it was based on a Marvel character, because at the time they sort of hid the fact that it was Marvel. So it's not out of the question, but not something we're working on right now." But here's the thing, like, I know Feige's given a lot of creative freedom to, like, run Marvel, but Disney will get final say. They own Marvel. So, like, if the boss under another boss wants to do it, but the boss above doesn't, it won't happen. It just doesn't matter.
Right.
So that's the problem here. Like, there's no indication that they would ever follow through on going adult with the characters that call for it.
Well, and realistically, they don't have a reason to.
I mean, especially not if they own everything.
No, if they own everything, and with how much money, I mean, look at the views Infinity War's trailer's getting. It's got 61 million views in like a day or two. It's destroying. I mean, they have no reason to push it to the R rating, which is even more reason to kind of vote against this happening because...
Well, yeah, we have no vote.
No, and we have no vote.
But you know, you can say, like, I don't like it.
Right.
It's okay to have an opinion on
it.
Right. But we don't have a vote on
No,
it.
I know. I mean, you hope that it doesn't happen, you know? Because it's like, I like what Fox has done with quite a few movies, and...
Yeah, and they're not all good.
No, they're not all good, but they're not all bad either.
No.
And with what they've done with Deadpool, Logan was great. I mean, I like you said, I like competition, and I like seeing people trying to fight for my ticket, for my money. And with Marvel just basically having a monopoly over everything except DC, that's gonna be tougher, and that's gonna be tougher on, I think, Marvel eventually too, because people are gonna get tired of seeing the same thing. It's just good to have variety.
Yeah.
And variety's not gonna be there.
Yeah, it's good for
much.
everybody. It's even good for the film studios, like you said, because if there's no one else they can go see, there is a point at which people are like, all right, I've seen enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Because, I mean, we've gotten so many Marvel movies already, and I enjoy the Marvel films, but you get to a point where, I mean, you need variety, you need something different, you need a different looking film, you need a different soundtrack, you need just different characters, and when you're getting the same thing over and over and over again, it's going to get repetitive. As great of content that they're making, and this Infinity War looks great, but I need variety, and I need different studios and different creative teams to take looks at characters and do something different than what Marvel would do, because Marvel, like we've talked about quite a bit, they have a formula and they have a schedule and they have a timeline for what they want to do. Fox doesn't seem to have that. DC has come out and said, we're just kind of winging it at this point.
Yeah.
We don't really know what we're going to do. Here's a bunch of random films. We'll see how they do. Fine, that's different. I'm not saying it's great, but it's different. And Marvel has just got this thing where, like I said, I like their content, but I need variety as a consumer, you know?
Yeah, me too. Anyway, guys, I'd be interested to see what any of you think about this. Let us know in the comments down below. Please like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more content. We're trying to do more stuff like this and just kind of a variety of our own stuff for the consumers. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.